The Minnesota Vikings' proud tradition was enhanced during the 70s with 99 victories, a total surpassed by only 3 NFL teams. But 1979 was a transition year, and Week 15 brought home a reminder that the tenure of an honorable old order was drawing to a close.
We have asked that one man to delay his entrance for a moment so that all of us will have an opportunity to express something special for a very special man. He is playing his final game at Metropolitan Stadium today, number 70, the captain of 10 divisional champions and 4 Vikings Super Bowl teams, Jim Marshall.
I just hope that I've given you as many thrills as you can for giving me. Yeah, thank you.
In the Viking tradition of aggressive and intelligent defense that he helped forge, Marshall again provided thrills for Minnesota fans in the 10-3 win over the Buffalo Bills, who wilted under the pressure applied by number 70. Tommy Kramer's touchdown pass to Ahmad Rashad ensured a victory that sounded an eloquent farewell to the old order. As glorious yesterdays became history, 1979 saw a new identity for the future take shape. Inheritors of a great football tradition, 1979 Minnesota Vikings endeavored to make way for tomorrow. The 1979 Vikings stood between yesterday and tomorrow with pride the signpost of these boundaries. Pride helped them endure their first sub-500 season since 1967, and it helped weather those occasions when things didn't go according to design. Miscues were not the sole province of the Vikings. When opponents made mistakes, the Vikings evidenced a proud heritage built upon opportunistic defense. On offense, the quick strike capability evident in seasons past was maintained and refined. 1979's offensive unit improved upon 1978's totals in several major categories. Throughout 1979, Bud Grant and his staff looked to veterans for leadership and efficiency. Among those to respond was 16-year pro Paul Krause, number 22, who became the NFL's all-time interception leader. Bobby Bryant, number 20, went for the ball with the same intensity displayed in his first Vikings appearance 11 seasons ago. Though plagued by injuries much of 1979, Nate Wright, number 43, led the club in interceptions for the 3rd time in his 10 Viking seasons. The 1979 performances of this veteran defensive backfield trio stand as a beacon for the new Viking order. More sparks of inspiration were generated by tight ends Bob Tucker and Stu Voigt, both 10-year veterans. Sure-handedness and a bullish refusal to be brought down were qualities shared by Tucker, number 38, and Voigt, number 83. In 1979, the pair combined for 39 receptions and 4 touchdowns. These elder statesmen were complemented by a second generation of Viking veterans, exemplified by the starting linebacking unit. Number 54, Fred McNeil, tenaciously thwarted enemy passing attacks. The 6-year veteran also cast aside blockers in his determined pursuit of opposing running backs. Eighth-year pro Jeff Seaman, number 50, and 6-year man Matt Blair, number 59, showed similar determination. Blair led the team in unassisted tackles during the season. The linebackers anchored the defense's transition into the 80s, while a changing offense is anchored by another threesome of steady performers. Number 34, Ricky Young, finished the season as the NFC's 10th-ranked rusher. In the mold of Chuck Foreman, Young's rushing ability is mirrored by receiving skills. His 72 receptions placed him first among conference running backs, and against New England, he set a club record with 15 receptions. 7 touchdowns were the end product of Young's versatility. The talented hands of Sammy White, number 85, will also help lay the groundwork for tomorrow. In his 4th year as a Viking, White continued to confound defensive backs as he averaged 17 yards per catch. White increased his total of career touchdown receptions to 32, which ranks him as the Vikings' all-time leader. And at 25, Sammy White has more great seasons ahead of him. White teamed with Ahmad Rashad, number 28, to give the Vikings one of the NFL's most respected wide receiving tandems. The NFC's 1979 leader in catches and receiving yardage, Rashad traverses the middle with a fearlessness rare in a wide receiver. Rashad challenges defensive backs to stop him, and few are equal to that challenge. Against San Francisco, his 4 receiving touchdowns established a club record. He added 5 more touchdowns by season's end, each bearing his unique personal stamp. Ahmad Rashad and the second generation of veterans lead the way toward the Vikings tomorrow. Following their lead is a solid core of maturing youngsters. In a banner year for youthful verve, Ahmad Rashad observed the changing of the guard.
For the past 10 years, Fran Tarkenton has been synonymous with the Minnesota Vikings. But like all good things, they've got to come to an end sometime. Here in Minnesota, we think that we have an excellent situation at quarterback.
The excellent situation is named Tommy Kramer.
For the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to sit and watch behind one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played the game. It's been a real experience for me, but I was kind of anxious to play. The way I feel is I have some big shoes to fill. I feel that our styles are a little bit different. I feel that I can run a little better than Francis has this past couple of years. I can move a little bit better, and I might run the ball a little bit more than he has, especially on, say, 3rd down and long situations where everybody's going to be dropping back to play the pass, and I'll be able to step up into the pocket and maybe run for the 1st down. Although I'm not known as a running quarterback, but if the opportunity comes, I'm more than happy to run the football.
Kramer's mobility was a key factor in enabling him to do what he does best, pass. Kramer handled psychological pressure as well. In week 1, he overcame a deficit to the 49ers with 28 seconds left in the game. Kramer's cool and his rifle arms struck fear in enemy camps. Save for a fake punt play, no other Viking quarterback took a center snap in 1979. Kramer parlayed the playing time into 23 touchdown passes and joined Fran Tarkenton as the only quarterbacks in team history to throw for over 3,000 yards in a season. Benefiting from the blocking provided by offensive linemen Ron Yary, Jim Huff, Dennis Swilley, Wes Hamilton, Steve Riley, and Charles Goodrum, Tommy Kramer stepped into the spotlight in 1979, and his performance indicated that the spotlight will belong to him in seasons ahead. That spotlight was shared with other new starters. Kramer was aware of their role in the Vikings' transition process.
We have definitely got a lot of young people on this team that are ready to take over and maintain the winning tradition that we have. We've kind of put together the older people and let them play their years and have the young people behind them. As soon as the older people are ready to step out, the young people are ready to step in.
Number 1 draft pick Ted Brown, number 23, stepped into a starting backfield role. Brown and Ricky Young keyed a resurgent rushing attack as the Viking backfield improved over 1978's rushing totals in net yards, first downs, and average yards per game. Other first-time Vikings also made their mark. Jimmy Edwards, number 32, emerged as the NFC's number 1 kickoff returner and was a primary reason why the Vikings led the NFL in kickoff return average. Edwards was but one name to reckon with on a versatile special teams unit. Punter Greg Coleman placed 23 kicks inside the 20, a feat topped by only one NFC punter. Coleman's punts allowed the special teams unit to hold enemy punt returners at bay. Coleman's friend and college teammate Terry LeCount, number 80, was among those who led the charge. And enemy punters were held at bay by an alert unit that blocked 13 kicks during the season. Place kicker Rick Danmeyer also contributed to this enthusiastic core of Viking irregulars. Ahmad Rashad noticed enthusiasm everywhere.
We've got younger players now, and they're very excited about playing football. The younger players have more enthusiasm than older players, and anything that helps you win has got to be good for your ball club.
Linebacker Scott Studwell, number 55, typified an enthusiastic young defense. Joining him were defensive linemen Randy Holloway, Mark Mullaney, number 77, and James Duck White, number 72, whose methods wreaked havoc upon offensive backfields. Tom Hannon, number 45, employed a variety of methods to disrupt quarterbacks. With Hannon, Kurt Knopf, and second-year cornerback John Turner, number 27, the Vikings have a secondary that is evolving into excellence. these young defenders became skilled in frustrating opposing runners. Mulaney honed his skill of sacking the quarterback as he led the Vikings in that department for the second consecutive season. The defense is moving toward maturity, and they approach tomorrow armed with the encouragement and knowledge imparted by those who forged the Viking tradition. The Vikings did not meekly hand over the NFC Central Division crown they had worn for 6 straight seasons. Contenders still found them certified members of the Black and Blue Division. In compiling a 5-3 division record, the Vikings twice manhandled the Detroit Lions. Tommy Kramer emerged from his indoctrination into the Black and Blue Division with his poise intact. Ricky Young's 23-yard touchdown bolt helped avenge a 45-14 shellacking by the Lions in 1978. But there were other NFC Central members gunning for the Vikings. In their second meeting, Green Bay took advantage of costly Viking mistakes. But the first time around, Kramer threw for 245 yards in an overtime contest decided by his 50-yard game breaker to Rashad for a 27-21 victory. The Chicago Bears drew first blood against the Vikings in Week 2. Their most skillful executioner was Walter Payton, number 34, whose nearly 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns keyed a 26-7 romp. But 6 weeks later at Metropolitan Stadium, Payton found it difficult to repeat his heroics against a fired-up defense. The Vikings' overall play in this game demonstrated that NFC Central infighting remains as hard-fought as ever. Kramer's weapon was his arm. He threw 4 touchdown passes, while the Vikings secondary thwarted the Bears' conventional aerial attack. Chicago eventually found an unconventional way to free the shackles on Payton, and the Bears appeared ready to let out another victory roar. Kramer, however, enabled the Vikings to come roaring back. Just as time was about to show favor on the playoff-bound Bears, a touchdown pass to Young gave the Vikings a 30-27 win that kept them in title contention. Vikings had yet to face another playoff-bound team from the supposedly weak NFC Central. It was Tampa Bay that eventually eclipsed the Vikings' long reign as NFC Central champs. In Week 9, the Bucs scurried to a 12-10 victory as Tommy Kramer was stifled by the NFL's top-ranked defense. A month later, the Vikings were expected to drown in a sea of Florida orange, but the upwardly mobile Bucs were headed for a fall. Jimmy Edwards' 83-yard kickoff return set the stage for a quintessential black and blue battle. Kramer's 32-yard touchdown pass to Rashad climaxed a first half in which the Vikings held a 14-9 lead. An aggressive defense kept shutting the door on the Bucs. The special teams unit removed the foot from the Bucs brand of football by blocking a punt, an extra point, and a field goal. And they still had another heroic effort left in them. Kramer's efforts reached heroic dimensions throughout the game. His 3 touchdowns stilled the sea of orange, but Tampa Bay needed the win to clinch the division, and Doug Williams engineered a last-ditch drive that demonstrated why the Bucs were destined for the NFC Championship game. That the upstarts could clinch the title against the defending champs now loomed as a distinct possibility. But Bud Grant called on his special teams unit to accomplish the impossible. His call was answered. The hand of 16-year veteran Wally Hilgenberg saved the 23-22 win that enabled the Vikings to turn the corner toward a strong season finish. The win evidenced a special kind of pride, Vikings pride, that was abundant during 1979, the year the Vikings proved ready to make way for tomorrow.